70th birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi being celebrated as Seva Divas today. BJP observing Seva Saptah by organizing several public welfare programs across the country. President Ram Nath Kovind and cabinet colleagues and distinguished personalities extend greetings. Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Bill 2020 to be introduced in the Lok Sabha today. Salaries and Allowances of Ministers Amendment Bill 2020 scheduled in Rajya Sabha for passing after discussion. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to give statement on line of actual control situation. In major breakthrough, security forces neutralized 3 terrorists in encounter in Batmaloo area of Srinagar. Operation concludes. Troops recovered 3 dead bodies along with weapons. India's fight against COVID-19 continues. 82,719 patients recover in last 24 hours. According to ICMR, recovery has now become 4 times more than active cases. COVID-19 cases crossed 3 crore mark worldwide. Over 9,40,000 people lose their lives. WHO warns of COVID-19 momentum as winter looms in northern hemisphere. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma in our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi turned 70 today. The BJP is organizing a week-long Seva Saptah to celebrate the Prime Minister's birthday. BJP President JP Nadda started Seva Saptah from Noida in Uttar Pradesh by participating in a plantation program. Party leaders and workers will celebrate the Saptah by participating in plantation drives, attending programs for helping Divyangjan and donating blood.
This is the story of the person who is among the most powerful leaders of the world. This is the story of the political leader who is the most popular Prime Minister of the largest democracy in the world.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं.
The journey of Narendra Modi begins from by-lanes of Vadnagar, Gujarat. Born on 17 September 1950, Narendra Modi was the 3rd child of Damodar Das Modi and Hiraba. Early life was spent in abject poverty. Narendra Modi used to help his father at a tea stall at a railway station after school. He joined Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh with an aim to dedicate himself to national service. During the emergency, Narendra got a chance to work with several top leaders of the country. In the year 1987, he was instructed to work with Bharatiya Janata Party. In October 2001, Narendra Modi took oath as Gujarat Chief Minister. From 2001 to 14, Narendra Modi was not only praised for being the most capable administrator and Chief Minister across the country, but also established himself as a development man. BJP made Narendra Modi as its prime ministerial candidate. Results not only established Narendra Modi as the country's most popular leader, but this also led to any party getting complete majority on its own at the centre for the first time in 3 decades. By bowing his head at the most sacred temple of democracy, he gave a message that, for him, preserving and protecting democratic values are foremost. Whether be it talk of realizing the vision of New India or the courage to resolve issues pending for the past 70 years, Narendra proved that Modi hai to mumkin hai. In the past 6 years, Modi government was seen continuously in action mode.
सरकार वो हो जो गरीबों को सुने, सरकार वो हो जो गरीबों के लिए जिए.
In 2019 general elections, BJP and NDA got big win, more than earlier under Narendra Modi's leadership. The most important reason for this victory was due to the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Before the move to abrogate Article 370 got Parliament's approval, there was no certainty that such bold decision could be taken by the country's leadership. Likewise, peaceful resolution of Ram Janmabhoomi dispute is not only end of a dispute, but has become a big booster to India's bright future.
मेरी सरकार का एक ही धर्म है, इंडिया फर्स्ट.
Whether it is tough strike against terrorism or putting brakes on Maoist violent extremism, in the past 6 years on these fronts, a lot of work was done than perhaps in the past 3 to 4 decades. This was not all. When Chinese troops created standoff on our northern borders in Ladakh, our troops replied befittingly, telling them that raising their finger on India could prove counterproductive for them, be it the act of reaching out to over 80 crore people with free ration under PM Garib Kalyan Yojana during COVID pandemic, or the decision of providing economic help through various ways, or jobs to poor families, farmers, workers and women. Prime Minister Modi in right earnest showed that government is one that lives and works for the poor. These decisions are helping in a big way to realize Narendra Modi's dream to make the country and every citizen Atmanirbhar or self-reliant. Narendra Modi's foreign policy imperative has realized the actual capability and rule of the world's largest democracy, staying amidst people, sharing joys with them, and removing their sorrows is the goal of Narendra Modi. He is the leader of the masses, dedicated to solve problems of common people and improving their living standards. Bureau Report, DD India.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी.
And greetings are pouring in to wish Prime Minister Modi on his birthday today. In a tweet, President Ram Nath Kovind extended his greetings and best wishes. The President wished the Prime Minister good health so that the nation can benefit from his invaluable services. Extending birthday greetings to Prime Minister Modi, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu said that PM Modi's enlightened leadership has taken India to newer heights both domestically and internationally. In his tweet, he said, "May he be blessed with a long and healthy life." Union Minister Prakash Javadekar also extended his greetings to Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. The INB minister said, Prime Minister Modi has taken the country to new heights with determination and strong willpower.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a hope to the people of India that yes, our country will change for the better and change faster. He has given a hope and has proved in last 6 years that he is a doer. He does what he speaks, and he speaks what he thinks in the larger interest of the country. He has no other obsession except to serve the nation. And therefore, people's love and affection for him is growing day by day. And we are seeing the highest approval rating all over.
And let's listen in to what people have to say on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी
धारा 370 हटाई, राम मंदिर का निर्माण कराया, बहुत सारे काम उन्होंने ऐसे किए हैं जो वादे किए थे वो पूरे किए हैं उन्होंने।
बाकी लीडर में जो है वो अपने बारे में सोचती है, लेकिन मोदी जो है देश की जनता के बारे में सोचती है।
उनकी सारी नीतियाँ हम सामान्य मानवी के प्रति समर्पित है और इसलिए मुझे उनका नेतृत्व बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी
On the occasion of the 70th birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a tree planting program was organized under Seva Saptah by Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha at Lodi Gardens in New Delhi today. Many BJP and NDA leaders planted trees on the occasion and wished Prime Minister Modi on his big day. BJP President Poonam Mahajan was also present on the occasion. And on the fourth day of the monsoon session, a bill further to amend the Salaries and Allowances of Ministers Act 1952 will be taken into consideration in the Rajya Sabha today. Besides the Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2020 and the Indian Medicine Central Council Amendment Bill 2020 will also be taken for consideration and passing in the Rajya Sabha. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Second Amendment Bill 2020 is also listed for consideration and passing in the upper house. In the Lok Sabha, the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment Certain Provisions Bill 2020 will be introduced by the Finance Minister. The Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 will be taken up for consideration and passing in the lower house today. Defence Minister Ram Nath Kovind will make a statement in the upper house on the recent development between Indian and Chinese troops along the LAC in eastern Ladakh. Earlier on Tuesday, Raksha Mantri had made a statement in the Lok Sabha over the issue. He had asserted that India remains committed to resolve the current issues in its border areas through peaceful dialogue and consultations. He said India believes that mutual respect and mutual sensitivity are the basis for peaceful relations with neighbors. The Defence Minister further said that India wants to resolve the current situation through dialogue, and India has been continuously maintaining diplomatic and military engagement with the Chinese side. He further mentioned that both sides should strictly respect the LAC and asserted that any attempt to unilaterally alter the status quo will not be acceptable. And news now from Jammu and Kashmir. 3 terrorists were gunned down in an encounter that broke out between security forces and terrorists in the Batmaloo area of Srinagar early this morning. Following a tip-off about the presence of terrorists in the locality, police and CRPF launched a cordon and search operation in Batmaloo area in the wee hours today. It turned into an encounter after terrorists opened fire on security forces. The bodies of all 3 terrorists have been recovered along with weapons. A CRPF official received bullet injuries and is undergoing treatment. The operation has concluded. And let's now take a look at COVID updates from across the country. Various calibrated and focused action undertaken within the umbrella strategy of test, track and treat have enabled early identification of cases and led to a high number of COVID patients recovering and being discharged from hospitals. A total of 82,719 have received and discharged from hospital in the last 24 hours. With this, the recovery rate has reached 78.64%. Over 10 lakh active cases have been reported across the country, while the fatality rate has dropped to 1.63%. According to ICMR, active cases are only a small proportion of total cases across the country. Also, recoveries have now become 4 times more than active cases. Let's take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. The overall number of global coronavirus cases has surpassed the 3 crore mark, while deaths have increased to over 9,44,000 worldwide. As many as 2 crore 17 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far. The United States continues to top the list, being the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. The US has recorded over 68,26,000 cases of COVID-19, with the deaths now crossing 2 lakh. In terms of deaths, Brazil stands second on the tally with 1,34,000. There are 44,21,000 cases of COVID-19 in Brazil. And the World Health Organization has warned that COVID-19 is spreading at a worrying pace in some parts of the Northern Hemisphere, a few months away from the winter influenza season. WHO technical lead for COVID-19, Maria van Kerkhove, has said they are seeing an increase in hospitalizations in intensive care units in several places, including Spain, France, Montenegro, Ukraine, and some states of the United States. She said it was worrying because we are in mid-September and we haven't started the flu season yet. Van Kerkhove also said hospitalizations of people aged 15 to 44 infected with COVID-19 were increasing in several countries. Dr. Mike Ryan, the WHO's top emergency expert, advised people at high risk for COVID-19 infections to get a flu vaccination. And US President Donald Trump has said that at least 10 crore doses of a coronavirus vaccine could be distributed in the United States by the end of 2020. Trump, in a White House briefing, said that the US is on track to deliver and distribute the vaccine in a very safe and effective manner. He said as soon as the FDA approves it, at least 10 crore vaccines will be distributed across the country by the end of 2020. And British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said that his government is working hard to increase testing capacity to tackle the pandemic. He suggested to be able to conduct 500,000 tests a day by the end of October. This came as the United Kingdom recorded an increase in number of cases, with the total count reaching and expected to cross 3,78,210. Johnson also said in the committee hearing that the financial consequences of a second national lockdown would be disastrous and that he would do everything in his power to prevent one from happening. As France ramps up testing, it has triggered more patient load in labs coming for being tested. Patients had to wait in long queues for their turn. Meanwhile, this strain on laboratories has compelled medics to go on strike, calling for better pay. The country has over 4,04,880 cases of infection, while the death toll is more than 31,040. In other news, Suga in Japan has been sworn in as the new Prime Minister. Emperor of Japan Naruhito ceremonially endorsed Suga at the Imperial Palace in line with constitutional requirements today. The 71-year-old veteran politician succeeds Shinzo Abe, who resigned due to health issues. The new Prime Minister also formed a cabinet retaining Finance Minister Taro Aso, Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi and Environment Minister Shinjiro Koizumi. Of the cabinet's 20 members, 15 had ministerial portfolios in the previous administration. Meanwhile, Health Minister Katsunobu Kato was chosen to succeed Yoshihide Suga as Chief Cabinet Secretary. Earlier, in a change of leadership, the head of the main ruling Liberal Democratic Party, Suga Yoshihide, was chosen as the country's new Prime Minister by the country's parliament Diet. And some sports news now. The Sports Ministry is set to upgrade 8 Khelo India State Centres of Excellence at an estimated cost of 95 crore 19 lakh rupees, with the aim of identifying and grooming future Olympic champions. Speaking about the decision, the Sports Minister said this is yet another step towards building a robust sports ecosystem and India's pursuit of excellence in Olympics. He said there will be centres to ensure that athletes proficient in a certain sports are given the highest level of training. He also said he is confident that this will help to further India's efforts at becoming one of the top 10 countries in the Olympics in 2028. According to a Sports Ministry statement, each KISCE will be extended sports-specific support in 14 Olympic sports, of which one state or union territory will be given support for a maximum of 3 sports. 8 states that have been approved for setting up of these centres in the first leg are Odisha, Mizoram, Telangana, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Karnataka and Kerala. And in cricket, Australia has won the third and final ODI to win the series against England at Old Trafford. This is England's first loss in a bilateral ODI series at home since 2015 with a record chase. Glenn Maxwell and Alex Carey struck twin centuries in a 212-run stand to help Australia reach its target of 303 with 2 balls remaining. It's the first bilateral ODI series England have lost at home since 2015. Earlier, England made a fantastic recovery from a horror start to end with 302 off 7 wickets after 50 overs. Back home, armed forces in Ladakh have adequate fuel and food. All preparations have been made for any challenges during the winters from across the border. Vishal Baristo brings you this special report.
Fuel tankers leaving for forward locations in eastern Ladakh. Fuel plays a crucial role in fighting the falling mercury that goes down up to 70 degrees.
I'm here at the highest fuel oil depot of Indian Army. As you can see, these tankers, they are being refueled. They are 16 in numbers and they have all queued up, and from here the fuel would be taken to different places. And it is not only the fuel but also the lubricants. It is also one of the largest fuel oil depot of our defense forces.
Apart from fuel, best quality nutritious ration has also been fully stocked for winters. This also includes the local produce to boost the local economy.
The inventory is very vast so as to cater for preference of all soldiers from all parts of this country at a scale which is at par for all ranks. We receive rations here from the base depots pan-India in civil and military vehicles. Today, we hold the complete requirement of supplies for all troops which are deployed in Ladakh sector.
Army godowns are full of nutritious and ready-to-use rations specially required during winters in high altitude to maintain physical fitness of our forces, including man and animal.
There's a saying in defense forces, your logistics decide your operational limit. I'm here at a godown which stores the dry ration, ready-to-use ration, and also all the required ingredients which are of the best of quality. The ration and the quantity is same for every man in uniform, be it an officer, be it a soldier. This ration is for both Army and Air Force, and it has been procured from the nearby areas also to keep in mind the boost up of the local economy. The ration is not only for the men but also for the animals, for example dogs and beasts of burden. From here the ration would be sent to different locations. Winters are approaching, and that is why all the stocking has been done, and the stocking is of best of quality.
The largest depot of 14 corps ensures that we have ample ammunition and special mountaineering equipments.
ये हमारा एक बहुत ही स्पेशल टेंट है. इसे बोलते हैं टेंट हाई ऑल्टीट्यूड 10 to 12 मैन. ये 10 से 12 जवानों को सक्षम बनाता है -50 डिग्री तक के टेम्परेचर में रहने के लिए. जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, ये ऊपर से वाटरप्रूफ है और अंदर से इसमें क्विल्टिंग की गई है. तो एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड क्लाइमेट में भी ये हमारे जवान को बखूबी सर्दी का सामना करने का हौसला देता है.
The depot has special support from 170 defense civilians who keep a record of the stores.
डिपो में नंबर 1 क्वालिटी का माउंटेनियरिंग, बुखारी, टेंटेज, स्पेशल क्लोथिंग हम आगे अपने जवानों को इशू करते हैं. और मुझे गर्व है कि हम इंडियन आर्मी की एक अभिन्न अंग है और हम इंडियन आर्मी के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर काम करते हैं.
I am here at the largest ordnance depot of Ladakh, which has the facility of not only arms and ammunition but also tentage and special equipment. There you see, this is the hyperbaric chamber in case a soldier is injured and he has to be evacuated and airlifted, so he has to be taken in this special chamber. These are the special equipments, and every soldier who comes here in Ladakh and who is deployed in the advanced areas are divided into two categories. With cameraman Rajesh Ricky in Ladakh, this is Vishal Baristo, DD India.
And that's all we have for you in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Namaskar.